Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 17th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. I got California off to the right of the screen here. You can see the very cold air mass moving into the Pacific Northwest, helping to drive this frontal system moving down across Northern California. It's fairly moisture starved. It's what's known as an inside slider, but it will bring some precipitation, some mountain snows across some of the Sierra Nevada, and some gusty winds with it. But then our eyes turn across Pacific Ocean. We have a very dynamic storm headed our way as we go on in through the day Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and for the upcoming week. And it's product of this subtropical slug of moisture is going to interact with this trough. Deep low pressure will form off the Pacific Northwest, but its corresponding atmosphere will be pushed right into California, potentially prolonged, strong atmospheric river. We're going to go over those details here in the video this morning. Now, taking a look at first things first, a frontal system dropping down across the area. You got some lightning strikes out here in the cold air. It could be moving across some portions of Northern California. And this will eventually slide down the state, but it'll be losing its punch. We're not expecting a lot of precipitation across Southern California or anything like that. Now, let's start where we are this morning. You can see this frontal system pushing across Northern California. It's what's known as an inside slider. It's fairly moisture starved. As that moves through, it's going to build some high pressure across the Great Basin. It's going to turn a bit of the winds offshore, but it's going to be fairly weak and fairly brief. And then we look at the next big weather maker here off the coast of Oregon and Washington, and the huge atmospheric river that is going to be pushing into the state of California. And this could be prolonged, folks. This is not a good look. This has some extreme flooding potential with it, and it hangs out as we go all the way through next weekend. Additional reinforcement of that troughing here hangs off all the way into the following week as well. So we got a lot to watch here over the next few days. And Eureka National Weather Service is all over it. They're talking about it in their hydraulic outlook. You can see the text version of that right here. Moderate to high model agreement that a strong and prolonged atmospheric river will impact Northwest California. And I got to tell you, some of the weather models are targeting as far south as the Bay Area and some of Sacramento Valley and some of the foothills, including the Park Fire Burn Scar area. Some huge precipitation amounts are starting to show up. We'll go over that here in a moment. Sacramento starting to give the initial hints that this storm system is coming as you go through Tuesday and Wednesday. They're not hyping things up too much just yet because there's still some uncertainty on where this atmospheric river is going to set up and how far south it's going to go and when it does so. So we're still trying to figure those things out, but they are definitely calling attention to it. Now, if we take a look at the European hot off the presses, this is the initial frontal system. You can see it bringing some snow for the Sierra Nevada, loses its punch by the time it moves down towards the San Joaquin Valley. But then we turn our eyes across Pacific and look at this deep lobe across the Pacific Northwest with this atmospheric river. And let me back up here a little bit. This is Tuesday afternoon. These are 3-hour chunks I'm going through here, folks. This is a lot of precipitation being dumped over Northern California. And the European is including the Bay Area and some of Sacramento here at the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. Some big, heavy, wet snowfall amounts. Mount Shasta, the Cascades, Klamath Range, Sierra Nevada. And look at this thing is just hanging out and does not want to budge. And then it drops north and then it comes back south again. This would be just an absolutely sinister event unfolding here. So we have a lot to watch. If you are Bay Area north, you really need to be prepared and have your ducks in a row here because this is looking particularly nasty as far as some flooding concerned. And then we could even bring that some of this systems, with a little bit wetter systems down across Southern California as we go towards next weekend. But we'll worry about that in upcoming days here and maybe some additional reinforcing of that trough. Now, looking at the national blend of models, this is total precipitation in inches. And as I scroll through Monday here, this precipitation across Oregon and Northern California and some of the Sierra Nevada, that is not the atmospheric river here, folks. There comes the atmospheric river. And look at these totals just get out of hand rapidly as we go through Friday morning. Look at some of these amounts. And it's bringing some of the heavy precipitation down towards the Bay Area and some of the Sacramento Valley, the foothills, and just gigantic amounts of rainfall here across some of Northwest California. And you can see this propagating down the state here as we go towards the weekend here. And of course, this is subject to change as we go day by day. But you really need to be prepared here, Bay Area northbound, as we go through this upcoming week. Now, I'm going to show you, this is on one of the high end of the scenarios here on the European ensemble member as of this morning. Look at some of these amounts. It includes the Bay Area, Places like Sacramento and Northwest California goes without saying. Don't need to be a meteorologist to see some of these just perverse amounts of precipitation showing up in some of these model runs here as we scroll out to the early portion of the following week. Again, severe flooding would be involved with this kind of amounts. But I'm showing you the 90th percentile here. I have to show you the 10th percentile. This is on the low end of what would possibly happen with this atmospheric river. And you can see this is still a pretty nasty look, especially for portions of Northern California. It's still pretty decent amounts for even some of the Bay Area on the lower 10th percentile here of these ensemble runs, and tries to bring some down across Southern California. But still huge amounts, even on the low end of things showing up. So if we take a look at 100-meter wind speeds, I do want to point out that as we go on, we bring some of these strong northerly winds as this inside slider moves by, westerlies across the desert area, and we turn things kind of offshore for a time as we go through the day Tuesday. But that should be short, brief, and weak. And then you see the atmospheric river bringing big winds, especially to some of the coastal areas and the higher terrain in Northern California. Some of these big winds could be moving down towards the Bay Area as we go through the midweek period here also, and up the Sacramento Valley. So yeah, you can see that atmospheric river and the boundary hanging out. We're likely going to have additional storm development as we go towards the end of the week. And again, maybe more atmospheric river activity trying to point a bit further south as we go through the extended, but take that with a grain of salt right now. Now, if we look at 10-meter max accumulated wind gusts, put this into motion. There's the inside slider right there. And then we bring the big storm in here. And you can see, I mean, you're talking about up towards 50 maybe for some of the coastal areas of the Bay Area and some of the higher terrain. So not a bad wind maker here. And we'll see how that trends here off in the future. As you can see, maybe additional systems bringing some gusty winds as well. Now, the North American model, I just want to show this in the meantime. This is what's going on as we go through tonight. You can see some of the snow flying for the higher terrain. I don't want to leave that out as well. But again, not too big of a deal compared to what is coming, no doubt. Now, no forecast is complete until we take a look at the precipitable water here. And this is pretty sinister looking also on the European. This is hot off the presses. There goes that atmospheric river. Deep low across Pacific Northwest, burrows into Washington, Oregon, California, and look at this. It bounces around for a while here, folks, and it goes back and forth and then back south again. So, yeah, we have some high-end flooding potential with this. So we're going to be watching that very closely here over the next few days. And, you need to stay tuned to your local forecast and kind of be prepared out here for this atmospheric river rolling in. Now, if we take a look at the GFS, this is in the 75th percentile, kind of on the upper level of potential. This is before the atmospheric river arrives. You can see it moving across the region, and then you can see just some of these ridiculous amounts moving into Northern California as we go through the extended forecast. So you can kind of see the GFS versions of things. And again, just some absolutely incredible amounts of precipitation showing up. And this is very close to where the Park Burn Scar area is also. Models in good agreement for big rainfall coming there. Now, I do want to show you here this really quick. So this is that high pressure building over the interior. I've been showing this the last few days. Might drive a little bit of some offshore wind there as that deep low forms over the Pacific Northwest. Powerful winds could develop here as we go through Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night, especially across the higher terrain in Northern California there also. So what else do we got here? 925 millibars. I'll just show you again the brief offshore winds as we go through the day Tuesday is what I want to show you there. But you can see the deep, big mid-latitude cyclone here with the atmospheric river bouncing around back and forth across central and northern California and trying to push down to southern portions as we go through the next weekend. Here's the 6 to 10 day. Yeah, take what you will. Take it with a grain of salt at this point. But you can see the above average signal there for the West Coast as we go towards the end of the month. Also, 8 to 14 days showing something similar. But anyway, I may do a live stream tonight on the Pacific Northwest Weather Watch page also and do some Q&A there. If not, I will do my normal briefing tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at the latest on the flooding potential and what kind of impacts we're going to get from this storm system. So hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, hopefully you are able to get prepared. We have some time. The storm system is still out here north of the Hawaiian Islands. You have a few days to go. Today is only Sunday morning. It's not going to come on until probably Tuesday afternoon at the earliest. So anyway, yeah, so check me out on the live stream on the Pacific Northwest Weather Watch page, or I will see you again here tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys later.